The next elements on our list are the main content, which displays a list of blog posts, and the footer, which displays some contact information. So let's go ahead and build those two sections. Let's start with the main content. And the page that we need here is the blog HTML, right? So we're going to copy the content from just below the header up until the footer. So this is the content that we're interested in. Let's go back here in index.php. We're going to paste it in, and we do have some cleaning up to do. So first of all, it's this Jumbotron. Now the Jumbotron is this section right here with the two headings. Let's do a little bit of cleanup in terms of indentation, something like this. So what I did here was I properly indented these. And also, instead of plain text, I used the translatable string functions for both of these headings, and then added some comments at the end of each div, so we know what ends where. Next up, let's see about this next section here. So we have the page blog, and then two main elements. We have a sidebar, and then we have the main content. Now, for the sidebar, actually, we're going to delete this content because we're going to dynamically generate it. So we're just going to say sidebar here for now. And then for this bit, we'll do div class row. And instead of this list of posts, we're also going to do something that will dynamically generate them. So let's go ahead and get rid of some of this content, and let's properly indent this again. And then inside, we're going to do something called the WordPress loop. So we're going to start with this. If we have posts, so if we have posts to show, then we're going to enter a while. Then while we have posts, we're going to do the post. And the post is a function that loads the current content of a post and allows us to display it. And this is contained inside the while. So while we have posts, we go through each post and we get the relevant information. Right? So we're going to do a PHP here where we're going to end the while. And then inside, we're going to do PHP. And we're going to use a function called getTemplatePart content getPostFormat. And what this allows you to do is load a file called content.php, or if you have different post formats, content-that post format. For example, if you have posts that have the post format set to gallery, this will load content-gallery.php. And we're doing it this way to make it future-proof, because currently we have just the standard post format. We're not supporting anything else. But what if we will do so in the future? Well, this will allow us to expand very easily. Now to this, if we don't have posts, then we'll do else. We'll do get template part content none. So if we don't have any posts, we're going to load a file called content-none.php. And here we're just going to end if. Now, if we refresh our WordPress installation here, you'll just see the Jumbotron and the sidebar, no content. And that's because we haven't created the content.php file. Let's do that. Content.php. We'll add the heading or the comment on the top of the page, and we'll start with the markup for each post, because remember, this is going inside a while. So for every post, we're loading content.php. So the markup inside content.php should reflect the markup for each post. Let's go back here and see how the posts are being displayed. So we start with the row, and then we have a div with a class of post, whole MD6, and then the rest of the content. So let's actually copy this markup, go back here, paste it in. Let's do the proper indentation again. And we'll do this, div ID. We'll add an ID to this. It might be useful in the future. We're going to say post-php and then the ID. This is a function that works inside the loop and will retrieve the ID of the current post. And then instead of class, let's keep these class names. We're going to do PHP. We'll use a function called postClass, and we'll paste these in. And what this is doing is it displays all the post classes generated by WordPress and these, which are just custom ones. And actually, we need that there. Next up, let's see about the thumbnail. And the thumbnail needs to be in an anchor tag with the class of post thumbnail here. And it needs to contain an image with a class of img responsive. So let's do this. href. For the href, we're going to do again PHP, and we're going to use a function called the permalink, which will get the link to that post. And then we're going to do title. And the title, we're going to say the title attribute. And then we're going to have the class of post thumbnail. And inside, we're going to use a function called the post thumbnail that can have multiple parameters. The first one is the size of the image that we want to display. And since we're going to be adding the class of img responsive, we're just going to load the full image. But you can load a thumbnail here. You can use a small size, a medium size. It really depends on what you have defined in your WordPress settings. So just for making things easier, we're going to use the full image size. And then we're going to put an array, and we're going to add the class of img responsive. So let's see what's going on here. If I refresh, yeah, we just see a lorem ipsum. We don't actually see an image here, and we just see a single post. And I wonder why that is. Let's see if we have posts. Let's actually check out the posts here. Yeah, we do have posts. We have a lot of them. So why isn't WordPress cycling through all of them? So if we have posts, let's do a double check here. Then while we have posts, yes, then we'll do the post. We get content PHP. Okay, we do the div. I wonder if that has anything to do with the settings inside WordPress. So let's see if we go to reading here. Okay, let's just set front page displays your latest post, because I had it set to something else. So it was just pulling in one post. But now if we refresh, we're going to see a whole bunch of posts here with all of the images that were grabbed from each post. Now, of course, these images are displayed in full here because we're not loading any kind of CSS. So let's go back here, and actually we need to add a condition here. So we want to display this markup only if that post has a post thumbnail. So we're going to do a quick check here, PHP, and we're going to say if has post thumbnail, and we're going to end the if right here. So if we have post thumbnail, then go ahead and display it. Now let's move on. We see an article with a class of post excerpt, and then a header that displays the title in an H3, and then a paragraph with the meta info like the author and the date. And then finally at the bottom we have the content. For these, we're going to do the following. We're going to start with a PHP, and we're going to say this. We'll do echo a href. So we're sticking to the markup that we have here. And in the href, we're going to say get the permalink, and then we're going to start an h3, and then we're going to get the title, and then we're going to close the h3, and we're going to close the a. Okay, so what that's doing is it grabs the proper titles from WordPress, from all of the posts. And just to show you this, let me just delete this bit, and of course delete this bit. Yeah, I'm just going to refresh so you can see that the post titles are loaded correctly. Iced tea, cute doggy, exactly the post titles that we have back in WordPress. That's it for this lesson. Now, our main content is not complete because we still need to write the post meta, which displays the post author and also the publish date. So since this requires a little bit more coding, we're going to do that in the next lesson. That's coming up.